is out of jelly beans.
Candy and Jelly Belly jelly is not an easy process. That's why I take so long to start.
Once our Jelly Belly beans have been rested, they'll move on to polishing and then be moved to packaging so that kids can't convert Jelly Belly.
Quality is a word that a lot of people use very loosely. We use it with great emotion. We've always attempted.
Belleville, Illinois.
Individual Jelly Belly bean flavors in specific compartments thanks to this machine. The base of the box is folded, glued, and shaped, while a plastic tray liner is added. Each liner has compartments that the machine will fill with those individual flavors. And filling 50 flavors at a time is something that, wouldn't you know it, only Jelly Belly does. Before this step was automated, workers used to hand scoop the right amount of jelly beans into each cup. Being together.
Shelves near you. Humans and machines are both hard at work here. Workers load packaging material into the machines. The material is fed through a series of rollers and formed into the shape of that.
One job.
Meanwhile, the candy has been moving through the elevator to make its way up to the top of the machine. It can then fall right into a wave bags. See how the candy drops into these metal funnels? These are called weighers, and they're very precise. The candy is weighed and dropped into newly formed bags, which are then cut and sealed around the candy almost immediately. It all happens pretty fast, so you'll have to keep your eyes open or you'll miss it. We'll get to the magic of candy making in just a little bit, but first, let's have a look at what's happening on the floor below. This entire wing is dedicated to one purpose. Welcome to the packaging department. This is actually the last stop on a Jelly Belly Jelly Beans journey. But today, it's your first look at some of the most mesmerizing parts of modern-day manufacturing. Here, Jelly Bells, these are called weighers, and they're very precise. The candy is weighed and dropped into newly formed bags, which are then cut and sealed around the candy almost immediately. It all happens pretty fast, so you'll have to keep your eyes open or you'll miss it.
As the bags go across the belt, there's a camera that looks at every single bag. And when the head goes down to pick up that bag, it will actually orient the bag just perfect to fit into the box.
That camera sees all. What the first two arms don't grab, the backup arms will. That's a lot to keep track of. And the Spider Packer doesn't miss many. It sends over 14,000 bags down the line each hour. As you're probably starting to see,
The packaging department is filled with machines and the people who love them. Everyone has favorites. Don't tell the others, but you're looking at a favorite right now. All those true-to-life flavors of Jelly Belly jelly beans are loaded in giant bins and lifted by forklift up to the tippy top. One of those giant containers holds about 1,700 pounds. That's as much as a couple of California Crispy Bears. Those colorful Jelly Belly beans are weighed and dropped into equally colorful bags. Would you believe that this delicious-looking candy waterfall isn't even the best part of this machine? That's right, it has another trick up its sleeve. After that beautiful candy is packaged into bags, it's time for everyone's favorite part. This, my friends, is known as a spider pack. And you don't have to be a machine builder to be hypnotized by how these daddy long legs do their job.
First time I saw a spider packer, I went, oh my God, we've got to get one of those. The machine was running about 240 pounds per minute, and as the bags go across the belt, you can
77 weeks.
and when the head goes pressed from all over the bag, it will actually orient the bag. So I finally started answering the phone and very cautiously saying, yes, we are the ones that have supplied Reagan. It was in the media already. It was on TV.
My dad is such a man of integrity that he did not want to capitalize on our connection with Reagan in any inappropriate way.
During that time, we got great media coverage. Herm was on game show.
Machines, such as applying a piping hot steam. Automation may be making things more efficient in the factory below, but it's our people who make all the difference in the world. And a department as technologically inclined as packaging is no exception. With hundreds of bags and boxes, Jelly Belly machine operators help and stop. Workers and mechanics supervise each moving line constantly, and are there to set it right again if there's a break in the action. You may have noticed how different the machines look and function here. Below you is a packaging material is loading and rolled out arms openly form the boxes, tucking intact to create a sturdy pouch. Jelly Belly jelly candy is added and if you look even closer, we can trace down the bell or move the boxes to the highlight silver bean or the image of Mr. Jelly Belly all up there in the imperfect package.
No limit to the imagination, and that's what I love about Jelly Belly art. Using a material like the jelly beans to create something so much possible.
This looks like a regular mosaic, but here, look closer, even closer. It's actually made entirely out of jelly beans.
There's so many Jelly Belly art.
Like many processes, Jelly Belly art techniques improved over time in 8 weeks, depending on the complexity of the piece. The artist starts with an underpainting to serve as a guide for color placement. The jelly beans are placed one by one on top of that painting and average 15,000 Jelly Belly jelly beans. And if you look even closer, you find treasures in several works of Jelly Belly art.
94760 all Herman Rollins candy company. Herman Rollins opened that plant in 1922. My dad, Ernie Rollins, went to work for his father-in-law probably in the 30s. And at that time, everything was by hand. You cooked the candy by hand in big copper kettles. You took and scooped the candy out of those copper kettles and you poured them into a string runner. It was a very, very tedious and very strenuous job to do that 10 hours a day. To build a piece of equipment that simulated what the man did to fill those trays. So instead of walking along the trays and putting the candy in, he actually built a machine to pass those trays underneath a string runner, which was permanently set, and the candy ran through that into the molds, into the trays, and then the trays were stacked on trucks. My first memories of going down to the candy factory. You know, it's hard to remember, but what I do.
This might look familiar. It probably looks just like what you saw back in the canning department, where we built up the outer shell of the jelly bean in those large metal drums. Well, after canning, the beans rest a bit more before they're brought here to the finishing department. This is where they get their glossy shine. The jelly beans still have a dusting of sugar from that canning process they experienced a few days ago. Candy makers tumble them in pans again, but this time they're adding syrups and food-grade glaze and wax. The combination of these ingredients and all that tumbling gives the beans their signature shiny look. It's a little like polishing rocks in a rock tumbler, and the noise is similar too. Make no mistake, it's loud in there. 380 pounds of jelly beans per pan are helped in the drying process by the attached blowers. Once the beans are nice and shiny, workers unload them into trays of 25 pounds and stack them on carts. And then it's time once again to rest. The stacks of trays are wheeled into the area right behind you, where rows and rows of colorful jelly beans are a picturesque reminder of just how many different true-to-life flavors there are. When this entire area is filled, it can hold more than 200 million jelly beans. That's enough to stretch from right here in Fairfield to our other factory in North Chicago, Illinois. But it's enough. This printer can print 20,000 logos per minute. Every Jelly Belly jelly bean, including those trickster Bean Boozled jelly beans, gets a logo. We even print on the white beans like coconut, French vanilla, and cream soda. You just have to look really hard to see them. Remember, it's not a real Jelly Belly bean unless it has the logo. Just because we made a jelly bean doesn't necessarily guarantee that we've made a Jelly Belly jelly bean. Only those of the proper flavor, color, shape, and size can move along on their journey to have the Jelly Belly name stamped on them. So when does a jelly bean become a real Jelly Belly jelly bean? Right about here is where it happens. Our robot friend down there has a lot of heavy lifting to do as it loads tray after tray of well-rested jelly beans into this very large metal drum. The beans tumble around a bit, and as they do, are moved toward the back of the drum. There, two specially devised screens await them. The first is sized so that any candy that's too small to be the perfect Jelly Belly jelly bean falls through. The second screen allows only the perfect sizes through. As the beans tumble, they either fall through one of the grates, or if they're too large to fit, they're kicked into a container at the back of the drum. Those pieces are still perfectly tasty, and will soon find their candy destiny fulfilled not as Jelly Belly beans, but rather as belly flops. You'll find them in the store after the tour, and they're one of our top sellers. Back to our Jelly Belly jelly beans, though. The right-sized beans are ready to receive their logo. They travel up to the top of the platform here on a bucket elevator before making their way to a belt. There's one more review for size, shape, and color, this time by the human eye and hand. The worker sits up top to survey the beans. We can make 680 jelly beans per second. That amounts to 15 billion Jelly Belly beans a year. Berry cherry, butter popcorn, and licorice, which happen to be the three most popular flavors in America. We've come a long way. We started with 8 flavors in 1976 and had 40 by 1982. Today, though, we have more than 100. And did you know there are instructions for eating each one of those 100+ flavors? That's right. We recommend savoring each flavor one at a time. If you want to combine them, just do it thoughtfully and try using one of our recipes like 1 lemon plus 1 cotton candy equals a pink lemonade. 2 green apple plus 1 cinnamon equals apple pie. Speaking of exploring, bet you didn't know Jelly Belly beans are expert travelers. They're sold in more than 80 countries around the globe. They've even been to the White House. 3.5 tons of Jelly Belly jelly beans were delivered for Ronald Reagan's inauguration in 1981. And they've been to outer space, too. In 1983, President Reagan surprised the astronauts in the Space Shuttle Challenger with a gift of Jelly Belly jelly beans, making them the first jelly beans in space. So there you have it, our secrets revealed. Well, some of them anyway. I can't believe our time together is already over. We hope you enjoyed your tour of Jelly Belly today. On your tour of the Jelly Belly factory. And now it's time to brush up on your trivia so you can impress your friends with some of our secrets. You already know it takes 7 to 14 days to make a Jelly Belly bean. Well, we can make 1,680 Jelly Belly jelly beans per second. That amounts to 15 billion Jelly Belly beans a year. That's billion, with a B. If you laid them all end to end, all those beans would wrap around Earth approximately 5 times. What's a Jelly Belly jelly bean's most popular time of year? Easter, of course. 5 billion Jelly Belly beans fill Easter baskets every year. That's a lot of berry cherry, butter popcorn, and licorice, which happen to be the 3 most popular flavors in America.
So before you buy it, if you want to try it, you can grab from here.
God, did you see these unbearable hot cinnamon bears?
No.
Or you're not having enjoyed